Hello, welcome to Tarot to a T. Today's reading will be for mid-April 2023 for the sign of Aries. If this is the first time to my channel, Aries, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. So glad to see you here again. Appreciate your support immensely. I do want to mention that this is a general inquiry. So you may not find that this resonates with you, but if it does, make sure you hit that big thumbs up symbol. I'm using each zodiac sign to determine who gets the extended reading the next time around. So if your sign happens to have the most likes on this video, you'll get an extended on the next series that comes out. Okay, I also want to mention I'm open for private readings, so if you're interested in that, the information can be found in the description box. There's also a link at the bottom of the description box if you are interested in making a donation to help support the channel. And I think I've about covered it. And again, this is a general inquiry, and there's some pretty significant things going on with Aries this month. Has to do with Chiron and the hybrid, I think it's called a hybrid solar eclipse. It's not really visible from part of the world I'm in, but I believe it's Australia. It's coming up around the 20th. But there's all kinds of information out there. I want to get better at absorbing and learning about the different planetary movements from month to month. I'm in the process of that, so you may see more information in the future, because it's certainly something that interests me, and obviously it pertains to tarot. So with the zodiac signs and the planets and the energies of the different aspects and conjunctions that happen, it's all very interesting. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it. 7 of Spades, 9 of Diamonds, King of Diamonds, and the 3 of Spades. My hands are cold. I'm going to warm them up a little bit. Well, interesting here. You've got a couple of conflicting energies. First of all, the most positive thing is looks like you've reached some kind of completion. Recently there was an achievement on some level that brought you prosperity, some success. It's about monetary gain. It's about being able to use the resources now available to also take better financial responsibilities, such as paying off debts, meeting, just your day-to-day obligations, honestly. And with the King of Diamonds, now that could be an earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, but I actually see this as you tied up with that achievement with the 9 of Diamonds. Really taking control of your finances in some way. Fantastic, right? The Kings are all about that power and authority, and especially around monetary values. They have a very good head on their shoulders about budgeting, just, keeping track of spending and expenses. But you are stressed out and worried a little bit. Now, it could be around the finances, and I believe something has come to light here sorry. My voice is a little hoarse this morning, so I'm kind of stumbling, but something has come to light, I would suspect, in regard to your finances. This is about hidden information coming to the surface with the 7 of Spades. And I think it's got you stressed out a little bit. Even though it looks like you're in a very good position now, I will go ahead and say this because it just popped into my head. Even though you've got this power and control, perhaps you're feeling more responsible than you have in the past. Like maybe you've taken over finances for your family, for you and your spouse. Maybe for an aging parent, somebody who can't take care of their own anymore. And therefore there's a little bit of concern about some kind of element of that. Perhaps if you're looking at like a long-term retirement projection, perhaps you're realizing there's going to be a shortfall. And that wasn't known to you before because you weren't involved with it. 8 of Diamonds, 10 of Spades, 9 of Clubs, And the Two of Hearts, interesting. Again, you have the focus here on finances. This is about some kind of solo effort, putting hard work, time, and energy into something and it paying off. Don't necessarily see you starting up a business. I don't think our reading today is going to be about that. But it's something that you've taken on, and I see that very much tied in with this taking control of financial matters. You see my point? Now, there was something that ended, some kind of completion. It was probably pretty traumatic, pretty devastating on some level with the Ten of Spades. This is in your recent past, or it could go back a few months. This could very well involve someone passing away, and you are taking over an estate, like I said, and being, let's say, an administrator of assets, divvying up the estate among siblings, other family members. But I just want to highlight with the Ten of Spades, whatever this was, it was very difficult. It could also be a breakup, like a major relationship ending, but I'm not actually picking that up. It's more like something you've had to heal from and process, and I think you're still going through that. Hence, that's why it showed up in this reading. I'm also, I don't know why I keep going back to aging parent, the parent who is in decline, and perhaps they're unable to take care of their affairs anymore, and you're stepping in as the adult child, or maybe in another capacity. You're having to take over those things. And that in itself is a major change, and it can be very devastating. Obviously, it affects you very deeply. Now, the Nine of Clubs is very nice. Again, it's another completion, like with the Nine of Diamonds. It's about being satisfied in some way, again. Plans you put in motion on long-term, something long-term has come to fruition, has completed, and you're seeing real progress in that. And there's a lot of contentment with the outcome. The Two of Hearts, very interesting change here. It is more on the emotional level. We didn't see much emotion come out with this, but this is about that desire for companionship. Now, you could have, you could be in the position of taking care of a spouse who's no longer, again, able to take care of themselves. Some kind of disability, some kind of accident, and that desire for that one-on-one connection. I don't see you needing to go out and play the field and meet someone new. I think it's about the loss, the closeness, the intimacy you once had with somebody. You're grieving that in some way. Hence the Ten of Spades, right? That completion, that's something that's like really changed things forever, closed a chapter, and it's never going back. The Four of Spades tell me there's some kind of relief, though, around the home. It could be financially related, because now I see you being in a positive financial situation. Despite what I said earlier about something coming out about the finances, this could just be the worry about this loved one. I'm not getting the sense that somebody passed away. I'm picking up that somebody has taken care of somebody else, and that's what this new information is, that you have to step into this role. And yes, stress and worry. Stress and worry. The finances look very, very good. That could be relieving some pressure around your home, your lifestyle. Or perhaps, I'm also getting things were uncertain for a while, and now you've settled into this new role and this responsibility. It's like now you know where things are headed. Whereas before there might have been a little bit of chaos about, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Somebody has to step in and take the reins over this, and I think it was just a transition. It was a period of transition that had to occur, and you weren't sure exactly how you were going to be able to handle it, because I saw this as I was shuffling, but it came out again. This is that energy of things being unsettled with the black and white Joker. It's also the Fool card. The Fool does not know what's headed in their direction. They don't know what's up ahead, and there's an air of uncertainty around it. I think you're still very much wrapped up in a very uncertain future around this situation. Queen of Diamonds, again, very strong earth energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I will just throw this out here. I tend to see this as Taurus. The Queen, for some reason, always reminds me of Taurus. You could be dealing with that person who's disabled, who is unable to take care of affairs. They could be a Taurus. But again, she has very good practical sense around monetary, financial resources, abundance. Very methodical, very practical minded. And we already saw the King of Diamonds come out, so I don't necessarily think you're playing both roles. It's just like there's a big emphasis on controlling finances. But the finances are stable and they're intact. It's not like there's a lack of finances. You see my point? So that's why I'm going towards this reading being or pertaining to Aries who are dealing with somebody who needs help, and you're coming to their aid in some sense. You might even, if you and your spouse may be coming to the aid of an aging parent for you or their parent, and you're both having to step in and take over these roles. Now with the 8 of Spades and the 10 of Diamonds, kind of a different track here. The 8 of Spades talks about stress around work, whereas the 10 of Diamonds talks about great prosperity and success and kind of reaching the limit, honestly, with the 10 of Diamonds. It's like it's a bar that you've set and you've achieved that, but again, you're reaping great financial success with this card. And the 8 of Diamonds is that work situation that you needed to walk away from. This is pretty specific, but I'm kind of getting the scenario of someone being older who was able to retire early because they had to step in, take care of an aging parent or a disabled partner or a disabled parent, whatever the situation. And they were able to finally leave the drudgery of that career that perhaps they once truly enjoyed, but they hung in there until they were old enough or prepared enough to walk away from it. So they didn't have to work anymore. And hence you have this resounding effect of success and prosperity, because not only do you not have to work anymore and you're taking over this other role, some part of it is putting you in that stable financial position. I do know from personal experience that sometimes if you step in to assist somebody, let's say they are disabled, when it comes to, well, at least in North America with taxes, you're entitled to some kind of payment out of that person's personal accounts. It's recorded in your taxes because you're seen as a caretaker, and you're allowed to take a fee. Not because, not out of greed, but more out of necessity, because you're unable to work because you're taking care of them, and therefore they can pay you. I don't quite know what it falls under or what you call that, but I know that exists. There's an ability for people to take care of disabled family members and to have an income come from their estate. It's that kind of setup. Again, you have a focus on finances being very balanced, especially in a personal relationship. If you are involved with somebody, this is about finances being particularly healthy in that relationship. Usually it's one-on-one. If you're not involved with somebody, it's just kind of a general statement about things looking really good for you financially. I think we've already established that. There's just this stress that you're this is the payoff, the stress and the worry that you're having to endure, but being set up very nicely in other ways. I'm going to go ahead and ask for cards of advice. Advice for Aries in mid-April 2023. Obviously, you've had some major things happen that has changed circumstances for you. That's very evident here. 3 of Clubs. Jack of Diamonds. I could could have predicted that Jack of Diamonds, to be honest. The King of Clubs, it could be you there. Oh, one more card. Six of Hearts. I'm going to get some tea. 1 second, please. So again, like with the stress and worry and the Three of Spades, you have a little bit of struggle indicated with the Three of Clubs. I think this struggle, again, is about balancing everything. I don't think it's a struggle with a person. It's just, taking on this heavy burden, this responsibility that you've had to step into. Your advice is acknowledging that there's going to continue to be a struggle where perhaps you're going to be feeling pulled in two different directions, is indicated by the 3 energy. And again, with Jack of Diamonds, you're looking at inexperience around financial matters. It could be a younger earth sign, but based on what I said earlier about things changing for you in a drastic way, Aries, in mid-April, and it involving managing money in some way, that would very much fit in with the Jack of Diamonds. And just, it's not that they don't know how to handle it, it's just that it's a new experience. So there's the lack thereof. The King of Clubs is fire sign energy. That's why when it popped out, I was like, that could be you for sure. Or a Leo or Sagittarius, but hey, we're looking at a fire sign and we're looking at Aries in this reading, so why even go there, right? But the King of Clubs is a great dominating force in that they have real control and they're very supportive and generous towards others in general, but probably especially in this situation. You're supporting others or someone, and you're also being very generous with your time and energy. I think that's a given. I think that's spelled out pretty clearly. You're also a great source of, how do you put it, guidance in general. Like, people can come to you and lean on you, and I think certainly that is what you're experiencing starting in April. And it might be something that you have to kind of play that role for a while. I don't think this is like an overnight situation. I think this is more permanent than that. Like I said, it's a role you've stepped into, it's new, and it's probably going to go on for a while. With the Six of Hearts, interestingly enough, again, we didn't have much focus here on emotion, except when we looked up here at the Two of Hearts in your desire for some kind of intimacy or connection with somebody in some capacity. Not necessarily romantic, I just want to emphasize that. But the Six of Hearts gives you new opportunities and doors opening so that you can meet more significant relationships. So it's almost like the karma that's going to come out of this generosity and support that you're providing for somebody else. It's really going to enrich your relationships. That's probably one of the best interpretations I can give you on that Six of Hearts, and it kind of opens the road. So if you are looking to meet certainly a significant other, but also to form, tighter bonds and connections just with other people in general, like new close friends, for example, those opportunities are going to present themselves to you going forward. Not necessarily happening in April, but as a result of. Yes, and you're in some kind of decision mode. Probably just wrapped up all with what you're having to do. What's on your plate has put you in this a bit of just, I'm getting is it's like it's not even like one decision. It's like an ongoing position you find yourself in of having to make major decisions. Certainly when we're taking over someone else's affairs, the immense responsibility of making the right decision for that person can be often very trying. I actually found myself in that situation years ago with a friend of mine who'd got into an accident, and they ended up with a very severe brain injury. And I don't want to go into it too deeply because it doesn't matter now, but I know how that feels, and just having to fill out paperwork, pay bills, and just keep their life going until they could get on their feet again. And it took a long time. We're talking like 8 months, a year it was quite the undertaking. And again, when I talk to you about that possibility that you're able to earn money in this capacity, that's one of the reasons I know about that. Because if you have to throw everything down in your life and take over somebody else's responsibilities, it's quite the burden on your shoulders. Not that you don't want to do it, but it's still difficult. 4 diamonds. Yes, you're still looking at gaining some kind of abundance in this situation. Or perhaps another way to go with that is, because you're being so generous just towards somebody and helping them out, your abundance is going to flow even greater. With the 4 diamonds, it literally is kind of the windfall card. I'm not saying you're going to be profiting off of this situation, but freeing up that energy. Again, it's that give and take. It's that what goes around comes around karmic cycle of you're being so generous towards someone else or towards a situation, you're going to reap the rewards perhaps down the road with the 4 diamonds. And also opening up your relationships. I think it's tied in with both caring for other people and abundance, because it involves both. And so you're setting up good karma for yourself. Any more cards of advice for Aries? Okay, 3 of hearts. This is being pulled into a couple of different directions emotionally. It's usually around some kind of decision, and I think, again, that's wrapped up with the 8 of clubs and having to make constant decisions and using your discernment. And if that person's unable to communicate with you, constantly kind of, well, not every day, but often being in this position of trying to decide for them. Most difficult, like I said, I've been through that. It was a long time ago, but it was difficult. I don't know that I could do it now. I was in a different kind of set of circumstances where I could basically kind of let all of my responsibilities go for a while, and not everybody can do that. And with the 3 of hearts, it's about it pulling on you emotionally. Again, you don't know perhaps always what that person really wants or what the best thing to do, because you're making decisions for somebody else. It's just damn difficult. There's just no other way to put that. It's a huge burden. It's a huge burden. It's much bigger than anybody who's never experienced it. They would never realize the immensity of it. But you got that struggle still out here, and you have that stress and worry, and I think that's very, very much part of your world in mid-April. I am going to end the reading there. Again, I want to stress, I see it being a very good financial situation, getting you out of perhaps a career that you were burnt out on and you just didn't want to be involved with anymore, but now you're taking on burdens for someone else. But I think ultimately it's for the highest good. Everyone involved, and the karma that is being generated behind this, if it's not evident already, you are going to you're gonna get what you deserve with these new significant relationships coming your way, and whatever's involved with the 4 of diamonds. I cannot predict or tell you what that means, but you're building up good financial karma and good personal relationship karma, Aries. So you hang in there during this very Aries focused season. Like I said, if you want to check out some of those planetary movements that are going on in April, I think they actually spill into May. A lot of them are in the sign of Aries. Just want to throw that out there and let you know. You may want to look into I don't have any recommendations offhand, but just kind of do a search on YouTube. There's a lot of videos coming out by astrologers, people who really study the planets. Very, very interesting stuff. Okay, if you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure to hit subscribe notifications to see when the next video comes out. It also supports the channel. Obviously, you've heard YouTubers say this over and over, the more subscribes, the more likes. It helps with the algorithms in YouTube and helps keep the channel going. If you're interested in that personal reading or making a donation to the channel, please look at the description box, and I will see you again soon, Aries. Take care.